Sounds good. I mean, I don't sound good. Well, we got a lot going on. But hey, everyone, I just wanted to wrap up Silent Hill 2 Remake. In the last episode, we went through the, I guess, less decrepit looking version of the Lakeview Hotel, and we got the dog ending right before we revealed the truth. For those who don't know, James's conclusion or his story. So it looks like we're going to start this episode with that because we were on our way to see Maria or Mary in the room 302, and we got stopped because I was like, oh, let's try this key out, and it led us to the dog ending. So it's a good way to end that last episode, I feel. But in this one, it's a good thing to start with, I think, the horrible truth of James Sunderland. So thanks for being here. This will be our final episode of our playthrough, and we'll try to get more than one ending on this one. I think we found enough secret things to unlock a second, maybe even third ending. So let's get to it. As you saw in the last episode, we started here and went and used the dog key. But now we are just going to go right to the room that we're supposed to go to. And we're going to learn the truth. So let's do this. $315 is locked. Elevator out of service. Another locked door, for now at least. So that's the room we went into before. It's the observation room. 313 and... what is it? Oh, 312. I'm sorry. I thought it's 302, but 312. James, I hope you're ready, bud. You're not, though. All the drawers already opened. Nothing to examine except the truth. Here we go.
Are you taping again? Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful. You know what I heard? This whole area used to be a sacred place. I think I can see why. It's too bad we have to leave. Promise you'll take me again, James.
Dude, this is brutal. Makes you wonder, when James first sat down, he's just staring at the screen. I think about dissociation obviously a lot, and here he is again just staring at the screen. Did he ever really put a video in, or just being in that room, did it trigger that memory, him sitting down and focusing? A lot of things, can be debated with this game. Not everything can be debated, but I don't know, I feel like that's an interesting thought. This next scene's heartbreaking, but I'm kind of trying to be quiet for most of this, so for people who haven't seen it before.
Hey, there you are. Do you know where Mary is? Come on, talk to me.
Mary's gone. She's dead.
Liar. That's a lie.
No. It's the truth.
She died because she was sick.
That look he gives.
I killed her.
Killer? Why'd you do it? I hate you. I want her back. Give her back to me. I knew it. You didn't care about her. I hate you, James. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. She was always waiting for you. Why? Why?
I'm sorry. Mary, you know, isn't here.
That little noise she makes, and that rack focus from him to her. As I always think that's fun when they do stuff like that in video games, because in real life you would have to do a rack focus to shift focus on them. In a video game you could almost cheat it to where they're both in focus in a way if you want. And I like that they did that.
Mary?
James! Where are you? I've been waiting. I'm waiting for you. Please, come to me. Do you hear me? Please, why won't you come?
But where?
Oh, look at that room, dude.
You?
You're so close.
We are in the other side again.
Don't leave me out here, James. James.
Oh, that last one, James. Smashed. You know, did he do it? Looks like a fist shape. His hand's not cut up, but so man, like so you saw the video. It's this room because there was a plate on top there. It's smashed or fell over now. But they were in this room when he made that tape, and then she starts coughing. So I believe that tape is made at the beginning of, or not at the beginning of the relationship, but at the beginning of her illnesses, taking like more control, like winning basically. And so they came here on a vacation. She always loved it here. She found it peaceful. He filmed the video and of happy memories. And then 3 days ago, this is me piecing things together, she gets released by her doctors from wherever she's staying, whether it's here or Brookhaven or whatever. She knew Laura, and there is a medical facility here on the hotel premises. As you saw, there's like a little med room. So it's possible she was here, but I think she might have been at Brookhaven or, you know, somewhere else here in Silent Hill, and she was trying to recover and get better. And then her doctors let her go back to James, and that's when James added that last part of the video where he, you know, did the horrible thing of suffocating her. So yeah, as you can see, there's the place falling apart. The observation room is now just a regular door, so it's gone. You can't use that key anymore. So that was the only way to get that dog ending, which is why we did it. And now things are falling apart, you know, in James's mind, and that's being reflected here. He's learned the truth, and because of that, all the things that were holding up the facade, holding up the barriers between him and the truth, they're all falling apart now. Some interpret this as like Silent Hill has kind of lost its power over James, but I don't know if that's true. I think Silent Hill won in this case. It did what it was supposed to, which was it showed James who he really is, and then now it's him processing it. Remember, this staircase wasn't open before, so we're going to be going to some areas that we. Well, not some areas we haven't been to before. We've been to all the areas, I think, but this was roped off earlier. It's it makes me think sometimes. Like I see videos online. Like sometimes I'll watch them where people go through like a mall that's no longer, habitated. Like there's no, it's not working or operational, and then you see like houses that have been like abandoned, and you see there's places like this where you just walk through and it's just the remnants of memories, the leftovers, the uncared for items, and it's there's always, if the area you're walking through, there's a level of tragedy to it. You're walking through and you're like, wow, I remember this place being like a gleaming, shining, positive place. And here I am going through its ashes, And I have, unfortunately, a lot of friends right now being affected by, fires in California. So, I'm was checking in on people as much as I could as I was fronting, yesterday, during the hours I was fronting, and was doing my best. And most friends I heard back from, a few I didn't, and then some I saw read the comment, like my text or my DM, and just didn't get back to me, which is fine. As I just saw that they read it, and I'm like, that's cool. You can leave me on read in that case. I just know you're all right. I hope that means someone saw my message. So that floor back there that we were walking on, it was like creaking. We have to just go back and push that thing through it, and it'll bring us down to the lower level. There is no healing of thy bruise, thy wound is grievous. Yep. The thing about grief that I've learned anyway is, and actually Purple has said this once too, is that after we lost Ace, it's just, grief is something you figure out a way to integrate into your life moving forward. Like that's how you don't get through it really. You just make it a part of you. And he's really right about that, because that's what I had to do with Echo, and still can't get it right. I don't know if I found this one before the last time we played. Cool. And I think that's true with anything. Anyone you lose that's special to you, you just integrate it. And I think James he had trouble integrating it. He struggled, and that's what the journey of the game was about. It was him integrating till we get to this point where he can face the truth. All right, this is definitely the most shallowest hole that we've jumped through in this game, so there should be no hesitation. James can actually see the bottom, whereas in every other hole we jumped through, we couldn't. All right, so now we're on the second floor. And a lot of this map is like you can't access it. And that's just, I think, to, help you get through this last part faster, because there's really no enemies. Like, watch. we'll come across an enemy, I think, or two, but not in the way that you think. It's pretty neat, actually. Wash yourselves, make yourselves clean, remove the evil of your deeds from my sight. From my sight. Interesting quote. That scared me. Hey, the elevator still works. What are the odds? It was broken in the other reality. It's all together here. And I know I say reality, I use it loosely. So any Twin Perfect fans don't like cut my head off for saying that. Because I know they had like that whole song about parallel dimensions, which has always cracked me up. I always enjoyed their videos. They were some of the earliest deep dive Silent Hill fans I found on YouTube.
She will not be cured. All that suffering. I'm no longer sure if it was of any use. If it meant anything at all. I can't say if this newfound understanding, if there's any wisdom to be had in all that happened. I suppose that's for you to learn, and I hope you will.
Hear that growl he just did? It's like same timbre and tone as the voice on the tape. Dude. Just a lot of work went into this game, man. It looks... it's beautiful in its decrepitness. Another shout out to Bloober Team for just the amount of detail and care. Like they made this remake knowing that they could not screw it up. And in my opinion, they did not. They did a great job. So that's all the second floor we're going to see. We go down to the basement now, and from the basement we work our way up to the first floor. So, and now this elevator doesn't work anymore. How convenient. Oof. I mean, these ripple effects look great too. There is still, we got kind of the conclusion of Eddie's story. It was a horrific one for him and James in a way, because James has now murdered a second person. But we never really saw what happened to Angela after the boss fight. So here we go. See her dad's mounted on the wall like that.
Mama, I was looking for you. You're the only one left. Maybe then I can finally rest. Mama. What's wrong? Wait. You're not my mama. It's you.
I'm sorry, Angela. I think you were right. What we're looking for, it's not here. Not anymore.
Dude, Sky, thank you again for the tier 1, man. Thanks for the sub to Just Batty.
Thank you for helping me earlier. But I wish you hadn't. Even Mama said it. I deserve what happened.
No, Angela, that is not true.
I like that James says that.
Don't pity me.
Even after learning the truth, he,
Not worth it.
you know, there's empathy and
Or
regret
maybe you
and
think
everything
you
in
can
James,
save
you know?
me. Will you love me? Care for me? Heal all my pain? That's what I thought. James. Give me back the knife.
No.
No, I won't.
Saving it for yourself.
No, we have 2 spears coming at us.
It doesn't change anything.
And look, there's another figure on the other wall.
There's hell in here.
Possibly her brother.
You see it too? For me, it's always like this.
So obviously I was just waiting for that cutscene to end, because with those I like letting them play out for people who maybe haven't seen or experienced this game before. There's a lot to dissect there. I can't remember if in the original when she's walking up the stairs, if you hear her in pain. I can't remember. I don't think so. But I like that she just kind of disappears up the stairs, and that's it. That's the last you see of her. The fire isn't burning her. Not really. But she says that's what she always sees. So earlier in the park when she saw James, and she turned and looked next to him, was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" She could have seen, it could have been her seeing her brother, her dad, but not her mom. So she says, "Mom, you're the only one left," at the end there, and that's why there's 2 figures on the wall. It's her dad and her brother, I believe, and she's still looking for her mom. And maybe that's the kind of the Mary/Maria of her story, is her trying to find her mom, and she's struggling. She's found the 2 people that directly caused her pain, and she's still looking for the one who allowed it to happen. Always curious where her story goes from here. Check that out. So that thing's dead. It's just curled up in a fetal position and dying. And yeah, it's crazy, right? But watch. Drops dead. So again, like, I think some people interpret this as, oh, the town has lost its power. James is able to see through the veil. And yeah, but I don't think it's really a losing its power thing. I think the town wanted James to know the truth. That's why it, is designed the way it is and laid out the way it was. No one's returning. Clear it out. The legs. So I would argue that this is kind of what it wanted the whole time. Oh, what's that? So this safe is something we had to get at the very beginning of the game near the chainsaw. There was something I missed. And that makes sense because I got so excited when we got the chainsaw that I was kind of, running around with it and wasn't paying attention to the other area nearby. But apparently there was a key or something, that brings you to the Key of Sorrow. And what you're supposed to do is put the Key of Sorrow in here and then put in the code 314, and it'll give you a postcard of Toluca Lake. And then what that does is that, opens up another ending for you. Which we're going to sadly miss out on because we didn't get that key. Check this out. This thing's withering away from us, or crawling away. So this thing that used to attack us and jump out and surprise us is now just wants to be left alone. And we can shoot them, but I think if you do that, it'll push you more towards the in-water ending. So we'll just let them wither. And now we're back in the labyrinth. And look, the bloodier legs that climb on the walls. Also Dunskies. All right, so we are at the final save. Here we go. Boom. And we're going to save right over that one. Because we've already been here. For those who don't know, during one of the cuts, the game cut off. And I didn't notice it until after we beat the game. So I got an ending already, and now we're going to go back and get it again. So thanks for, the edited version will be much cleaner. But those who are here live, thank you for coming back. Here we go. Boss fight. Final boss 1 of 2. What's up, Sky? How's it going? Yeah. Damn indeed.
James!
Leave her alone. Leave us both the hell alone.
Dude, look at the gloves, and 2 of them now. There's a reason for that, and I'll get to that in a second. And notice she's upside down. That scream is so well delivered, by the way. She's upside down on a bed frame. So that's a theme, obviously, with Mary and Maria. So once again, he has to watch her die. And as he lets out that guttural scream, he starts piecing this together of what these red pyramids are. He understands.
I know what you are. I know why I needed you. But it's all over now. I don't need you anymore.
I love this look he gives. Then he looks the other way. There's a seal on the ground.
I'm ready.
Dude, I'm ready. Oh, yeah. Ow. Yeah, they will throw that at you. Oof. Everything's crumbling. And the debris can hit you. So just be careful. Nice little shot of the ground there where I just emptied a bullet right into the floor. Well. They're speeding up. Ooh. So obviously these two things represent his guilt in a way. A side of him that wants to punish him for what he's done, which is be the cause of two deaths now, Mary and Eddie. So that's why there's two red pyramids, where there was one before. Now there's two, because he's now killed again. Right in the ankle. Their noses are so long, you kind of have to aim down. All right, we did it. So yeah, and this is him fighting back, and you know the power of Silent Hill is like, okay, like we wanted him to get to this point, so that's why we let the other creatures just kind of wither away. We want him to get here now and face this because they thought he wouldn't be strong enough to stand up to two major sins now. And he did. He stood up to him. So now the town is, or the power or whatever that's in the town that's manifesting into Maria, or, you know, the part of James's mind that's, you know, accepting the truth more and more. These things just, you know, they're not as strong as they were. So yeah, the interpretation of them losing power is an interesting interpretation, but I think the town, those creatures we saw earlier withering, I think the town is like, just clear the way. Get him here to this room, because we think this will be, you know, what causes him to finally break. And he does. He falls onto the seal here and lashes out, screams, you know, looking up at the body of Maria there and just screaming, and gets it out of his system and starts connecting the dots of like, okay, she keeps dying. Why does she keep dying? Well, it's because of, you know, this. It's because I'm still not facing everything or what these red pyramids are. And if there's two of them now, it must mean because I'm responsible for two deaths. It's like, so I know what you are, and I'm ready to face you.
What do you want, James? Flowers?
So it's him like standing up.
I don't want any damn flowers. Just go home already.
Now this tunnel's interesting.
Look at me. I'm disgusting.
If you run through this tunnel
Between the disease and the drugs and
before the conversation ends, that can, I think,
Well, what are you
play a
looking
small part in what ending you might get.
Get the hell out of here. Leave me alone already.
So if you run through this hallway, right that line right there, you'll be nearing the end of the hall if you just run right through when she says, "Get out of here." Like, or not there, but right after this part.
I guess the hospital's making a nice profit off of me.
So you just hear all of her negative thoughts if you run through this hallway. You won't hear her regret.
I told you to go.
So yeah.
Are you
You-
deaf? Don't come back.
And that's where we would push through the final door if we just ran through this hallway. And we would miss all this part here. So that's why I walked through this hallway.
Don't go. Don't leave me alone. I didn't mean what I said. Please. Tell me it'll be okay.
Everything does matter. Yeah. Everything in this game, like, subtly will push you towards a type of ending in some way. Or at least in this case, you want to hear the full story, right? Like, if you run through this hallway, you'll just think, oh, Mary was really mean to James in her final moments or days. And that still doesn't justify what he did, but it makes you think, okay, well, he couldn't take the abuse anymore from her. And he heard her, saying, I just want to die, I just want to die. And he took action in that regard. But if you actually listen to the full conversation that she has there, she breaks down and says, no, please don't go. I'm sorry. It's the pain I'm in. It's making me lash out. Please, forgive me for what I just said. And you hear the full story, and that Mary and James, aren't bad people in the sense that they aim to hurt others. Have they made mistakes? Sure. Mary admits to hers right there in the hallway. She says, yeah, I lashed out at you, but I don't feel those things. I love you, and I don't want you to go. And James, he'll admit at some point coming up how he really feels. And Mary / Maria / the memory pushes back on him a little, but he did do something terrible, and he admits it and faces it, and it doesn't make him a better person. I don't know. That could be argued, but it means he faced the truth, though. He broke through his delusion or his dissociation or his disconnect. Like, he broke through it to see what really happened, as horrible as it was. And that does show some level of strength, in my opinion. But to answer the question, is James a good guy? I asked that earlier, and I was curious about people's opinions on that. I would say no, because of what he did. Now, can someone do something terrible and continue a life and do good things? Sure. Does it take away the horrible thing they did? No. And so I would argue that James has good in him and had the potential to be a really good guy, but chose something very bad to do, an evil act. And you might say, oh, he did it out of sympathy. He smothered her with her pillow out of sympathy because she was in pain. But you're going to learn here soon that not really. It's not true. Get ready. So pay attention to her eyes, the color of her eyes.
Mary?
Because they're like a hazel almond kind of brown, which is Mary's eye color.
I have missed you so much.
I've missed you too. We can finally be together. Forever.
And she's dressed like Mary and hair like Mary. Like, she doesn't look anything like Maria. But then that line right there, we could be together forever.
No.
He knows the truth now. He knows they can't be together because he knows she's not Mary.
James,
See her eyes? Brown?
honey.
Or hazel, whatever.
I'm sorry. I know you tried,
James, please.
but she's gone. I know that now,
Stop it.
and I can't just keep pretending.
Shut up! What do you want? Do you even know anymore? I'm yours. I'm here for you. So what if I'm not her?
All right, one last look at her eyes.
I can give you what she never could. I can be better than her.
So, you know, what is Maria?
Maybe.
Born from a wish, right?
What else can I be?
I am so sorry, Maria. I really am. But this has to stop.
Is she a clingy, exotic dancer?
Let it go.
Is she born from the wish of James wanting to find a different version of Mary? Is she a manifestation of the town? Which I'm going to say yes, definitely there. But it could also blend into the other two things as well. But look at her eyes.
What?
Different color.
I won't let you do this to me.
They're Maria's color now.
I won't let you go. I can't.
And then bringing back the bed frame motif, you know, which haunts Angela's nightmares too, but also James's, because he, you know, his horrible act he did was in a bed where he, you know, smothered Mary. Oof. All right. Oh, missed. Dang. I'm trying to keep her close. For that reason. Because when she's far away, she shoots the butterflies at you. There we go. Got her. And the butterflies being the rebirth. So this room, I think, I always wondered what this room represented, you know, because you have the weird scaffolding staircases outside that lead up to it, underneath. And then now we have this underground room. That mimics one of the bosses we fought earlier, which is, you know, not something I don't like this part of the boss fight, but you know, I understand they had to do something to shake it up, change the environment a little bit. Cool. Got her down. Awesome. She is very upset with me. Let's go around and collect everything real quick. Is she gonna... You can see her, you know, where she's walking. Oh! Got her. But it's, so I'm thinking this room, this empty warehouse, because she says, you know, in her letter later, she feels like she's wrapped in a cocoon of pain and loneliness. whenever James wouldn't come visit her. So the room being the size it is, kind of mirrors that, the sense of loneliness. Oh, forgot that was a double hit. Shoot. Ow. All right, let's heal. So I think the butterflies being, it's like, oh, it's her rebirth, she's not lonely anymore. James is here, but so she's going to take this image of rebirth and use it as a weapon towards James. So I'm thinking that's what this warehouse is. I always wondered what it represented, this empty space warehouse, but I guess it makes sense.
James.
I guess this is how she felt. She felt lonely.
James.
Wrapped in a cocoon of pain, as she says. Now we're forced to do this again, only without a pillow. This is hard, but she's an actual monster this time, so we have to end it. And here's where we get James's confession.
Hey, handsome.
So I think this is him in his final moments with her, just reliving it.
I told you. I wanted the pain to end.
With the knowledge of what happens added in, like of what he did.
But that's not why I did it. The truth is, I hated you. I wanted you out of the way. I wanted my life back.
If that's true, then why do you look so sad?
Because he regrets it.
Mary.
It's okay, James. Here.
I don't know if you've ever had to care for someone who was dying, but it takes a toll on you. And again, it does not justify anything James has done. But it in real life, it'll test your strength, your patience, your love. It's tough. And James he couldn't handle it. He failed. So he's got that last letter now, which I think it's directed to James, but it mentions Laura, and I think that's because James didn't know about Laura before, Mary's end or her death, murder. And so I think this letter was meant to be an introduction because she mentions Laura in this. I believe. I believe, if I'm remembering the letter right. But this is a different ending than the in-water one. Right now we'd be in our car at the beginning of the game, and James would drive the car off at the bridge and into the lake, or crash it and it roll into the lake. So this is a different ending we're going to get right now.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday. But you never did. Well, I'm alone there now. In our special place. Waiting for you to come and see me. But you never do. So, I wait.
Okay.
Wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know, I've done a terrible thing to you. I wish I could change that, but I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly laying here. Every day I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it is. The doctor came today. Told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this could be my last chance. Even so, I'm glad to be coming home. I missed you so much. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Every time you come to see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me. Maybe I just disgust you. I'm so sorry. When I first learned I was gonna die, I couldn't accept it. I was so angry. I struck out at everyone I loved. Especially you. And that's why I understand if you hate me. But I want you to know, I will always
Could you
love
imagine
you.
reading this letter from someone
Even
that
though
you
our
loved
life together had to end like this, I still
and being
wouldn't trade
in
it for the world.
these circumstances, like where they're apologizing to you? You're like,
Well, this letter has gone on too long.
you don't
So,
owe
I'll
us an
say
apology
goodbye.
for being sick.
I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. Which means that as you're reading this, I'm already dead. But that's okay. I'm not afraid of it anymore. I just hope the pain will end soon. So that you remember me for who I was. And not what the disease made me. I want you to go on. I want you to live. For yourself. And for others. Like you did for me. James. You made me happy.
And I would say this is probably the closest to a quote-unquote happy ending, at least of the original endings, that there is to get, where James is able to escort Laura out of the town, safely, obviously. I mean, she doesn't really encounter the monsters, but they're able to leave, we presume. Now, I don't know if James will go and turn himself in and have Laura go, like, it's not really the point of the story, but you never know, really what happens to them after this. You hope maybe James does the right thing and turns himself in, and then Laura, gets adopted by a great family and has a happier life. You could always hope for the best, right? But you don't really know. And since it's Silent Hill, it's vague. They just go into the fog, and the fog gets thicker, and We don't know what happens to them. But that's as close as you're going to get to as a happy ending to this universe, at least in this game. I think. I don't know if the new endings I'm not so sure about. I haven't seen any of them, so I don't know. I just know what they are and what items you have to get them, but I haven't watched them, so not all of them. I think I've seen one, but part of one on accident, but it was just like him in the car again. So I don't know if I just watched the in water ending. I don't know if I just watched the in water ending again or what, but it was one where James was in the car. So I was like, I don't know if this is a new ending or just a in water one. But yeah. So anyway, there you go. There's Silent Hill 2. Like I said, I couldn't really do a review of this and keep it concise, so I figured we'd just play through it and I would just talk. But her, at the end there, James facing the two pyramid heads, each one representing a death he's responsible for, Eddie and Mary. Maria, what is she? Definitely some kind of part of the horrors of Silent Hill. But to what degree, I don't really know. I mean, I would love to play the Born from a Wish scenario remade and maybe, or see it, or maybe I'll have to just go watch someone else play it on, from the original game. I don't know. I that kind of sets up that she's in Born from a Wish, she's in this mansion and she's talking to a guy on the other side of the door and he's given her little tasks to do in the mansion and she walks around and does them, and then when she comes back and opens the door at the end, there's no one in the room. And so what does that represent? Is that man something from her psyche, something from Maria's life? Was it a version of James, or the town pretending to be James, or what was it? I think they state who it was, but it's been so long since I've seen that game play, that mini game, so forgive me, I'm butchering it probably, but I think that was the gist of it, was that she, and then afterwards walks out of the mansion and walks into the town as the fog consumes her, and she's going towards the park where she meets James as Maria. So is she, a manifestation of the town itself? I mean, there's so many different, theories and thoughts, I think, on Mary/Maria. But her name is Mary Shepard Sunderland. And for those who don't know that, Shepard that name plays a part in Silent Hill Homecoming. So pretty interesting. Your main character's last name is Shepard. But really cool. Bloober team did an amazing job. I cannot say enough good things about this game. I love it so much. And after these credits roll, I'm giving my final thoughts and stuff. But after these credits roll, we will go back and play one more ending and try to get the one where we drink the White Claudia and see what that does for us. So we'll at least get one more ending here. This will make it all right for a special time, a special place. All right. Let's hope that works. I don't know if you're supposed to drink it before you watch the tape or after, but we did it before. Let's see if it affects what's on the tape. That'd be interesting if it did.
Are you taping again? Come on.
You can tell by the way he filmed her that he loved her, though.
I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful.
Like, he gets these really pretty shots, of her.
You know what I heard? This whole area used to be a sacred place. I think I can see why. It's too bad we have to leave. Promise you'll take me again, James.
I promise.
Come on, we need to finish packing.
What?
James, honey, did something happen?
Huh.
No, it's fine.
This is the ending right now.
Everything's fine.
No way. And then he's gone. Holy crap. What the heck? I didn't realize we were literally watching the ending. That's wild. That is so wild. So she didn't cough. And then he just smiled. He had a moment where he's like, holy cow. And now he's in the tape. And maybe, wow, did we get two kind of happy endings? Like, or the best possible endings for happiness? Holy cow, I didn't realize we were watching the ending. That's awesome. That was really sweet, actually. I really liked that. That's one of the newer endings. Oh, yeah, the music's different and everything. Holy cow, cool. I'm glad we did that. I thought we were going to have to go through the final bosses and all that stuff. But yeah, so I just looked up this website, and all it said was just drink it when you get to room 312. But it didn't, or it said drink it inside room 312. So I didn't know if that meant before watching the tape or after. So I was like, well, we'll do it before, and if we're wrong, we'll do it again, and we'll do it after. But I didn't know that was going to lead right into the ending. Like the tape is the ending. Watching the tape is the ending, and it's a better outcome. They call this the bliss ending, according to this post. Really cool. Wow, I'm actually glad we got that. Wow. So you didn't, at least from my playthroughs, you didn't get to see the in-water ending. We could probably get that real quick, though. We could have before. I think you have to pull out the picture of Mary and look at it. So I don't know if it'll... But yeah, we got 4 of the 8 endings. Holy cow. Cool. Nice. All right, well, that is it. So we tried to get the in-water ending, and it didn't work out. I thought if I examined the knife a couple times and the photo of Mary right before the final boss fight, it would work. But it didn't. It didn't trigger the in-water ending. But still, we've got 3 endings on this playthrough. We got the dog one, and then in this one, we got kind of the 2 quote-unquote happy endings, if you will. And that was pretty neat, because the bliss ending completely caught me off guard. I was really shocked by that one. I kind of... it's one of those things where, do I think James deserves a happy ending for what he did? No, I don't. But what the bliss ending did was kind of pulled him back into that memory in a world where Mary didn't cough and didn't seemingly start getting sick. And then he kind of was like, oh, wow. Like, yeah, I think everything's going to be okay. Like, our life is going to play out the way it's meant to. And again, that's, total BS probably. But it is a nice thought. I mean, the idea of a reality where she didn't get sick and they didn't become the people that led them to, their end, essentially. And then in this to James coming here to Silent Hill, like, in this regard, like in a horror element way. I think that was interesting. That makes me smile. But James leaving with Laura, which was the other ending we got, is like, I hope he does the right thing and turns himself in for what he did. And, Laura hopefully finds a good, loving home. Because I don't know if James can provide that, you know? Because some people I think are like, oh, and he walks away with her and he adopts her and raises her the way, Mary always wanted. And I don't know. I don't know if it goes that clean because of how we got here, to the story of this game. Nothing in James's life and Mary's life was clean fully, which is how they ended up in this story that we played through. So I would say I don't know if it turns for the better. So at least my hope is that if that ending is a canon ending, I hope James turns himself in and Laura goes and finds a good, loving home and grows up, a good person. That would be ideal. But in the Bliss ending, being another alternate reality where, Mary never got sick, that does make me smile, because I'm like, good, they continue on as people in love, you know, without like a really harsh struggle and obstacle that tests both of them, and a test that James fails because obviously it ends in him killing Mary. So this game is amazing. It evokes a lot of conversations, which I love. I love hearing everyone's opinion on this game. This is one of those situations where I literally, even if I disagree or feel like you're reaching on some level, I still love hearing it. And that shows just how much I love this game. I mean, the original, obviously, but this remake of how well they brought that material to today and how successful I feel they are at it. I think this game won a couple of awards recently, all well deserved. Normally, I'm not a fan of award shows to an extent, like when it comes to like winning an award. Maybe it's because I've never tried to win awards with like my writing and stuff. I just want to work and get stuff out there, and I never saw that as like the end goal of like, oh, it'd be cool to have all these awards saying that I'm an amazing writer, or amazing whatever, like artist or whatever. I never sought after that, and so that's why those never mattered much to me. But there is something in validation from like a community, right? And the game awards communities are kind of aim for mainstreamness. So for this game to win stuff, puts it on the map of mainstream people that might not have given this game a chance. And I say the more the merrier. Although I feel this game is not made for everyone, I feel like if you have a strong mind and one that you're willing to challenge and face horrific truths, like if you're, not your own, maybe not your own or whatever, life is different, but playing in a game like this is not like, well, Resident Evil I love, but it's like, oh, you go into a mansion, you kill zombies and monsters, and you try to expose Umbrella and you get out, and try to save the world. This is not that, this doesn't have that kind of mainstream theme appeals. But I feel it does have a lot of themes that are very relevant. They were 20 years ago when the original came out, 20 plus years ago, and they are now, with dealing with mental health struggles, abuse, trauma, regret, remorse, so much, grief. And I think this game just does a great job of handling all of that in a real and respectful way without making fun of anything or dismissing anything or saying someone's problems aren't as big as someone else's problems. Like, this game handles all this material very, very well. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys. If you've watched all these videos, I appreciate that too, especially if you've made it to the end here. I'm glad I was able to get at least two endings for you for this. And they were kind of happy endings. So there you go. Worlds where maybe things ended a little differently for James, one of them at least. And yeah. And so thank you guys. I don't know if we'll talk about Silent Hill again for a while. Maybe if when the new movie comes out, I'll see it. I'm still on the fence on that, because although Christoph Gans is a good director, I thought the story of the first one was awful, and he is part of the reason why it was awful, because he implemented things that I thought didn't need to be implemented and changed things that didn't need to be changed, for the worse, I feel. So I didn't love the story of the first movie at all. But I thought the cast was good, even though they weren't great in some scenes in that movie. And I thought the visuals were great. So hopefully Christoph Gans has a better writer where he's working with, or has less influence on the story this time around, because I don't think he's that great of a narrative storyteller like that. But I think he's a great visual director, and so because I love Brotherhood of the Wolf, that's a good one. Story has its problems, but it's visually cool, and Mark Dacascos is amazing in it. If you haven't seen Brotherhood of the Wolf, you got to check it out. But yeah, so maybe we'll talk about Silent Hill again when that movie comes out, and whenever these other games. They announced like 4 or 5 Silent Hill games, and we're still waiting on release dates for the other ones. So who knows? Maybe we'll dip back into this world at some point. But for now, this is the end of this world for us, and I really do appreciate all of you being on this journey with us. We'll see you in the future. Peace.